The risky business of flipping real estate is back, and it has some hopeful house renovators putting their family finances on the line. Tonight, you're going to meet women taking big risks. What does it take to turn a total wreck into a money-making dream home? Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis for our series, Realty Check.
For the last few months, Cam and I have been redoing a house together that we're going to flip, and I have to say, it has been going great.
Take it from Modern Family. Trying to flip houses for a profit is not for the faint of wallet.
It's from Carrara, Italy. Oh. It's where Michelangelo got the marble to make the David.
Oh, now we know why the David couldn't afford any clothes.
And it turns out life does imitate art.
This is the only bathroom?
It is the only bathroom.
It's Monday morning, and we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, following a pair of real house flippers.
Do you know anything on the electrical or the plumbing?
I don't think it's been updated.
Two women who've been in real estate for decades, looking for their next big score. But this property looks like a homebuyer's nightmare. 1,100 square feet of hidden horrors.
I saw from the exterior the windows would probably have to be replaced.
There's definitely a good bit of wood rot.
Wood rot, warped floors, a dated bathroom, and a special surprise in the master closet.
Oh, okay. Fireplace? Yeah. I don't think this is just kind of putting paint on it and fixing it up. This is a major redo.
With the housing market improving since the crash of 2008, home flippers like Kim Williams and Maria Powell are taking advantage of the turnaround.
Taking the ugly house and making it pretty.
All right, so what do you think of this one?
Well, it's a lot of work.
There are some red flags with this one.
But it still could be a great property to flip.
Flips in North Carolina are up 35% in the last year, with flippers averaging $37,000 gross profit per property. Kim and Maria say this $175,000 property, with the right renovations and additions, could sell for as much as $500,000.
The whole wall's falling down.
But there are no guarantees.
You're looking at 35 to maybe
40,000?
TV shows about flipping are everywhere, from Flipping Vegas to Rehab Addict. They make it seem like it's an investor's playground, if you know what you're doing. Across town, Lisa, a stay-at-home mom, and her friend Armella and Armella's sister Alita are first-time flippers trying to get into the game.
A lot of people would say you should never get into business with friends or family.
We did both.
And they're hoping there's still money to be made.
We definitely missed the heyday of really cheap housing, but then we were worried we would have trouble reselling it.
After losing out on 6 other properties in bidding wars, they bought this modest 3-bedroom for $150,000.
And what did it look like when you pulled up?
It was awful. It was awful.
It was a dump.
The kitchen floor was sinking in. You walked in and you were kind of crooked. The yard was a jungle. The surveyor still can't figure out exactly where the property line is.
Between renovations and real estate fees, they put $60,000 into the project, figuring things out as they went.
This one might be
That looks like a standard, but
it's 13 1/4 by.
look how we sound like we know what we're talking about.
What did the husbands and the kids say when you told them we're flipping?
Oh, he was a little nervous, and then when we had to take out the mortgage, he was a little bit more nervous. And then when we had to put in money, he was even more nervous.
Because it's never a sure thing. That's where the first rule of real estate comes in. Location, location, location.
Some of these properties are vacant, and you'd really rather be safe than sorry.
And not every market is as flip-friendly as Charlotte.
We got to figure out whether we want to tear it down or whether we want to rehab it.
Mark Bloom is a tough-talking, gun-carrying wholesale real estate broker who's flipped 50 properties across the country. His latest acquisition in Dallas is a 1930s bungalow, and it's become quite a challenge.
It's just not worth the effort. I'm telling you, it's not worth the effort. And this yard sucks. Baby, it sucks.
He knows it takes a tough skin and a tough dose of reality to be successful in the flipping game.
This can't be a first project, a second project, not a 5th project. You've been doing this for 5 years, maybe then you could start to look at something like this. This isn't something someone should dive into.
He helps first-time flippers enter the market around the country.
I think the misconceptions is that it's very simple. I'm just gonna, no money down, and I'm gonna make $100,000 in 2 weeks. I think people oversimplify it, and they don't take enough time educating themselves.
Back in Charlotte, Kim and Maria realize making a profit can be tough.
To make this work as a living, you've got to be working about 4, 5, 6 at least to make
4, 5 to 6 to make this work
within a year.
Look, Maria, this is already under contract.
With 12 flips under their belt, Kim and Maria are scouting this up-and-coming neighborhood for homes to add to their portfolio.
How you guys doing?
They already have one home going up on this block.
The people that owned it and lived in it for 40 years were actually here to watch it go down.
313 McDonald will be no more.
This used to be a 1,200 square foot home, but for $240,000, Kim and Maria tore it down and are completely rebuilding a 3,800 square foot house that they recently put on the market for $950,000.
I think the toughest thing right now is finding the deals. 2 years ago, able to find this type of property over and over and over again. See how we have the border up here?
They aim for an average return of 25 to 30% on each rehabbed property.
It's not easy. Most people lose money on flips.
I know a lot of people feel that they can do a lot of the work themselves, and then when it becomes complicated, then they have to hire other people, and they haven't factored that cost in.
We need the lighting for sure. We need the butcher block.
And they bargain hunt for everything because every dollar saved is another dollar in their pocket.
But I'd buy a turd if it were half off.
Mark Bloom warns, though, that when rehabbing, the key is to fix it up, not glam it out.
Not every house needs to be rehabbed to the level that my wife might want to live in. It needs to be rehabbed to the level of the neighborhood so that we'll sell like any other comp in the neighborhood.
Armella, Lisa, and Alita's first-time flip was finally finished after tearing down a wall, removing the chimney, gutting the kitchen, and surviving a snake encounter.
There was a snake twice.
2 different ones.
This past November, they listed the property for $275,000.
What did you really think of this one?
I think personally for me, we want something that we can grow into. I think it's priced well.
But even after a successful open house, they still don't have any offers. And that leads the women to seriously assess their finances and how long they can keep the house on the market.
Yeah, I think we're okay to hold till January. It's just every time we have to always make a mortgage payment.
January came and went. The house sat unsold.
When we listed it, we had the same dream everybody else has of selling it within 30 days. It didn't quite happen that fast.
Now, 4 months later, it's under contract for $233,000. Not quite the $275,000 sale they were expecting. They'll be splitting the $25,000 profit 3 ways.
We didn't want to lose money on the deal. We definitely wanted to see if we could work together without killing each other, and we wanted to learn a lot along the way. The fact that we did make money is sort of icing on the cake. I would think that we are likely to do it again.
For Nightline, I'm Rebecca Jarvis in Charlotte, North Carolina.